so excited.
It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
What is happening? Welcome to Two Guys and a Goalie on Edmonton Sports Talk. You know what they say, Gage? They say the series hasn't even started until a home team loses a game.
Is that what they're saying now?
I believe so. I believe that's now the narrative.
I love it.
For Oil Country. As I mentioned, you are listening to Two Guys and a Goalie with myself. I'm filling in for Dusty. He had to take a meeting. You'll be joined here by Joaquin Gage and the one and only Matt Kassian. Two Guys and a Goalie is brought to you by GS Construction, setting the industry standard for 50 years with quality, efficiency, and safety driving their success. GS Construction has a foundation built on teamwork, and now they want you to become a part of the team. Visit www.gsconstruction. There he goes. www.gsconstruction.ca and click Ready to Work, or visit their page at indeed.ca with the Next Person Up program at GS Construction. It's not just a job, it's a career. You're not in trouble until you lose at home. Well, I got news for you. If the Oilers play like they did in games 1 and 2, it doesn't matter. This is going to be finito, completo, dunzo. Now that's what we're here to discover. Okay, we're going to go on a little bit of a journey together and see if we can't come up with any answers.
Let's solve the problem.
Solutions, right? Yeah, I think a little Matlock attention here, unsolved mysteries, that kind of style show. Joaquin Gage, the man, how you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm good. It's kind of cathartic to listen to all the programming. I fell asleep listening to the post game show.
Yeah,
actually, and it was just reassuring. I love the insight, what Reed was having to say. Cass was Kassian again with his takes on everything, and there's so many little things that have caused the Edmonton Oilers to be in the predicament that they're in right now. But saying all that, when it really boiled it down to the simplest form, which I think the Edmonton Oilers need to start doing in their gameplay, is they've lost the first two, yes, but they've also played horrible.
Awful.
They have been terrible.
Yep.
And Reed said something that was interesting too, and is in the readathon that we're having today, is he believes that the Kings are at a level that they're at their best right now. That's their ceiling. And you can't, usually it doesn't stay at that level for an extended period of time. They're going to come back down to earth. So where does that fall when, and hopefully for Edmonton Oilers fans, the Oilers can find their game back, and maybe the Kings aren't at that level, and you find out somewhere in the middle where this series is going to go. But it's they don't give you a lot of hope because of the way that the Kings are playing and the way that the Oilers are playing right now.
Well, let's have Matt Kassian join in here. And Matt, just your initial thoughts on last night's game. What were your takeaways from that, what I'll call a debacle?
Yeah, well, I went into the game really hopeful, right? Like I was like, okay, they're going to come out. They're going to play well. They're going to win a game. It's going to be 1-1. We're going to feel great, and they're going to start rolling. Then the game happened. I felt good the first shift. Felt good through. Really, I felt pretty good, although I was like a little bit. I think the kids, my daughters say all the time, I was a little sus. there was some sus going on around that penalty kill in the first period that they got scored on. And then the second period started, and I was like, oh boy, here we go, because it just fell apart real quick after that. And so I was hopeful heading into that one. And then I was fired up and angry after the game. And now I'm just sad. I feel like that's where I'm at right now, is I'm sad with how they've played. And I think, in trying to analyze the feelings and understanding, okay, where's this sadness coming from? I think that's because guys, I don't have a lot of hope after watching those first two. And I know, yes, they haven't played very well. And yes, Gager, you're right. LA is probably playing at their best. But can we expect them to flip a switch from going 50% on the penalty kill? Can we expect them to flip a switch from going 0% on the power play? Can we expect, Wallman to flip a switch to be able to play on the right side steadily? Can we expect the switch to flip for Evan Bouchard not to turn the puck over? Can we expect the switch to flip for Victor Arvidsson not to turn the puck over in the defensive zone? Like, it's just like the switches that have to flip in order for them to win are just massive. And I don't Pickard isn't the answer. I think you start him, and I know we'll talk about that more, but he's not the answer. Guys, you can't think that you put Calvin Pickard in that game against the LA Kings yesterday and that the Edmonton Oilers win that hockey game. You wouldn't have.
Well,
so I'm just not feeling hopeful. That's where I'm at right now. I'm not feeling hopeful. I'm frustrated. I'm worried they're going to get swept. And I don't know if that's right. And maybe I'm just being emotional about it. Maybe I'm just tired from being on the show too late last night. But man, I'm grumpy right now about it.
It's okay. Everybody, everybody's feeling it. And we're going to get into this. We're going to get into the power play, the special teams. We're going to get into the Skinner Pickard conversation, McDavid. So let's dig right into the special team woes that this team is currently facing. I mean, everybody knows how bad it has been thus far. 5 for 10 on the penalty kill, 0 for 5 on the power play, almost an exact reversal of last year's first round series against the LA Kings. Now, Cass, I'll throw it to you first. In your opinion, what is the major problem here? We were discussing this out in the bullpen a bit earlier, and is it that the Oilers are playing that bad collectively, or the Kings just playing that efficient on their special teams? What's your take on that?
My take is that you had your two key defensemen that were your key penalty killers on the right side that are not on the team. That's my takeaway. Yeah, that's it. And they went through stretches this year where they played fairly well on the penalty kill, but overall they were a lot worse than good. There was more bad than good on the penalty kill throughout the year, and they just never really were able to. Yeah, at least in the series, they've never really been able to establish any kind of dominance. Their zone entries, teams are LA is just waltzing into the zone, and the second that they have any kind of setup, there's never any pressure. The forwards are all over the map. By the way, not just the defensemen that you lost that were penalty killers, but the forwards that you lost are penalty killers too. But I think the defensemen were the bigger part of it. You lost guys that do that well.
What about the power play though? Let's switch over to the power play, because that's the same group. That's the guys who got you here. But I mean, 0 for 5. It just seems like the LA Kings have figured it out. And the Oilers have no adjustment, no answer for the Kings controlling the penalty kill.
AJ, you go first, and then I'll jump in because I got some thoughts.
So essentially with the power play anyway, to me it just looks like there's the old adage, it's when you're on the penalty kill, the mantra is 4 guys working harder than 5. Or when you're on the power play, 5 guys working harder than 4. That's the foundational base of specialty teams, and it's evident just on the eye test alone, watching how cohesive a unit the Los Angeles Kings penalty kill is. They are not allowing any sort of cohesion for the Edmonton Oilers. Any chance they get to force someone to do something they don't want to do with the puck, they do it, and they're doing it with good angles. They're anticipating where the puck is going so they can counteract. Like, the penalty kill is so important. That first guy, when he decides to go, the 3 other ones have to read off that and cover, or else a team like the Oilers, that's where they were so successful. they were able to move the puck and find the open guy every time. So, and the Kings are just doing a much better job than the historical power play that we've seen for such a long period of time. Like Reed said it, the fact that they are forcing Connor McDavid when he has the puck is you don't see that.
Says a lot.
Yeah.
Confidence.
That's a confident team. And I think it's actually it could possibly be catching Connor McDavid off guard a little bit, right? You can see he's doing that swim move a little bit more. Like now he knows that he's probably going to have someone on him quicker. And it does seem like he looks more like a lacrosse player protecting the puck and using a kind of a little bit of a swim move there. But when it boils down to it, they're working harder and they're executing better than the 5 Edmonton Oilers that are on the power play.
Yeah, it's a good summary. Yeah, it's a good summary. I mean, that at its core, that's what it is. But I think the Kings are the game plan that they're executing is very similar. Like when I'm watching them right now, it's very similar to how my favorite coach in the world, Kevin Constantine, had us kill penalties, and that was very facetious. That's not real. My favorite coach in the world. There's a lot of things I couldn't stand about him and the way he coached. A lot of things, but his penalty kills were exceptional, always exceptional, because it was like to the T. If this is where the puck is, this is where you go. And it was ultra high pressure. Now very structured in that pressure, but ultra high pressure, ultra aggressive, that when you go and everyone goes, like it's really hard because it's just continual pressure everywhere. Now it's hard to do that. You have to work really hard to do it because it's like you're always jumping. A lot of stops and starts, really good. Like your sticks have to be positionally really, really good. And the way you beat it is on the power play side is you have to be really efficient in your puck movement, which means one player can't hold on to the puck too long because you're going to get pressure. You allow everyone to set and then set from pressure. And Edmonton just hasn't done that. Like it's just a little bit too perimeter, like passing around. And the second that there's any pressure, they haven't been good on their automatic outs, which means if I get pressure, I know a guy's here and I can just give him the puck. Right. That's what they haven't done. And the second thing they haven't done, and I think if you saw them put Perry out there for penalty kill too, or for power play too, is they haven't done a good job of any kind of net front presence. And that's because it's hard. The LA Kings in that pressure, they do a very good job of making it difficult for whoever's trying to get to the front of the net to get to the front of the net. Like it's hard. They're in the way. They're making it difficult to get there, and they're executing on that. So it's, again, at its core, I agree with what Gager said. At the bottom line is they're working harder and they're executing better than the Edmonton Oilers. And the Oilers have to find a way through puck movement efficiency to get them moving side to side, get the puck moving high to low to force some lanes to open up. And if they don't, bye-bye, because they need the power play to win the series.
And when have you seen when you think back when that power play is really clicking, like they're getting opportunities, but their puck retrieval after the opportunities, like they're getting the puck back in the offensive zone to generate other chances. And that's kind of where you saw a lot of those seam plays start opening up. Like it's not even one and done at most times. The puck's just getting out. Like they're not even getting a scoring chance before, but there's just no second chance opportunities. There's no puck retrieval. It's just there's no anticipation in that power play, right? That's they say, on your toes, like ready to read and react to the play. There's just nothing. It's like they just want to all go out there, go to their spots, and then try to find Leon on the back door. And that's just not, everyone knows it's going there. Everybody.
Do you guys think that there might be an appetite from the coaching staff to maybe switch up some of the personnel that is on the first unit power play to try and ignite something, to try and change something? I mean, we all have been hearing about, I guess, the disappointment in Nugent's play thus far in the playoffs, and maybe take him out of center, put him on the wing to try and ignite something, get something going, make a change. Do you guys see any sort of change in personnel? And Cass, I'll throw it to you first, or do you just stick with it because it's bound to work soon enough?
I don't think it's bound to work soon enough, but I think you stick with it because we've seen the success that they've had in the past, right? Like, and that's going to be the difficult thing here is like, well, you're darned if you do, darned if you don't in a lot of ways. It's like you got to kind of stick with them because they're so good. But if you get away from them and it doesn't work, well, you could have stuck with guys that have proven that they can do it time and time and time again. They're some of the best players in the world. So I think if anything, we would see a little bit more piecemeal. Like like I mentioned, Corey Perry going out there for a shift, maybe Evander Kane gets a shift. Like they might do a couple different looks there. But they're not going to wholesale change it. I don't think you can. Like that group has just been too good for too long.
Yeah, that's probably the spot that you're going to see the biggest amount of turnovers, that net front. I know you mentioned the Nuge, but on the opposite side of that, Nuge isn't going, right? And how do you get him going? Maybe it's the power play.
Sure.
And you hope maybe he can get one or make a good play to start building his I mean, it's going to have to happen quick here, but that's probably the reason you keep him out there, because he is a good facilitator of the puck. But you need more from him, and maybe that's one of the ways that you can get him engaged in the next few games, is maybe having some success on the power play.
You were listening to Two Guys and a Goalie on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by GS Construction. I am not Dustin. If you're looking for Dustin, I'm sorry I've let you down. He had to take a meeting, but fear not, he will be back tomorrow morning on the Nielson Show, as well as Lock Shop, and then at noon, the Oil Stream with Tom Gazzola. Now, Two Guys and a Goalie. So I don't know you guys that well, but I think I know you well enough, Gage. You're the goalie, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so we're gonna dive into goaltending here, because
I played ball hockey goalie a couple weeks
oh,
ago.
do you? Okay,
with your brother. Yeah, he can tell you all about it.
what do you do in ball hockey goalie, Cass? Like, do you just stand there? You're massive.
Yeah, I just laid there.
Yeah,
I just laid there.
Oh, stop it! You
the up-down
Hollywood
crushed
glove
me.
saves like crazy, probably.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Big
no,
windmills.
Anything. It could be like a ball rolling slowly on the floor, and I pick it up with my glove, and I just give her the huge windmill. Like just.
What's your biggest weakness? What's your weak spot in ball hockey goalie?
Lateral movement.
Oh no! You didn't say that. Well, what a! I believe that's great. That's a great segue into goaltending. I get it. You cannot necessarily blame everything on Stuart Skinner. You can't say every goal was his fault. But by golly, it would be nice to have a save, a big save every now and then. And the fact of the matter,
do you want? How many big saves do you want? So
one or two.
I'm going to get eviscerated for this. One or two? Okay, so they still lose the game then, because
but you know what, Katz? With one of those, do you get a momentum shift? Do you get a boost?
No.
The momentum, the swing of a game. And that's not even where I'm going here. I'm not on a let's defend Stu Skinner, let's throw him under the bus. That's not what I'm saying. The fact of the matter is that he's 0-2. He has not won a game. Okay, so that's plain and simple. I don't think that's good enough. Gager, I wanted to ask you this first. During I think it had to have been in the second period. Did you find it odd that Stuart Skinner was seemingly relishing in the Skinner chance? There was a shot of him, and he was almost laughing or smiling at that. What were your thoughts on that?
I didn't see it. I heard about it. I mean, whatever. I don't like. He can laugh at it all he wants. It's going to be a bad look regardless of what he does. And he does that thing where he kind of listens to the music and bounces back and forth. Usually you only see that when things are going well for him.
Yeah,
but he's trying to find something there to get a game going. Look, he hasn't been good enough. Unfortunately, there's been some really good chances against, like it's just mano-a-mano against the shooter, but he has to find a way to win that battle. Look at just if you go back to last year, game 1 against the Florida Panthers, that the Edmonton Oilers should have blown the doors off. Like that's the type, and every goalie's had those types of games where they stopped everything and their team had no business being in it. He needs to have one of those games. We're probably most likely, I think it's Pickard next game, but he's going to have one of those games. He's going to have to be facing Kempe, at the hash marks with all the time in the world and shut him down. That's the name of the game. Like as a goaltender, you want those opportunities to shine. Like it's. You want to make a difference in the game. And I mean, on either side, the only impact both goalies have kind of had, Kemper obviously to a lesser extent, is their impact has been in a negative manner towards their team. So, I mean, it's one of the many points of what's wrong with the Oilers right now. But Cass, is Pickard starting next game? That's what
I think so.
You think so?
I think so, and I think he should. He should start next game. You need a change. You need something different here from a goaltending standpoint. You just gave up like 12 goals or 13 or 18. I don't know. It seemed like 20 in 2 games. So you need to do something different. I think it's not a disagreement. I don't disagree with you, but if you had to pick. And so this I maybe would tell if people ask themselves that are listening or watching, ask yourself this question. If you had to pick right now for next game, if you had to say, okay, goaltending, quality of goaltending is going to stay about the same. Quality of the chances we give up is going to stay about the same. You have to pick one to improve, quality goaltending or quality of the chances that we're giving up. Like we're going to either give up less quality chances or we're just going to get a little bit better goaltending. Which one are you picking?
Oh, quality of chances.
Yeah, it's quality chances. Yeah, by far.
Without question.
Yeah.
Without question, you're picking that. Right. And so like I get we just needed like a great save. And it's like, well, you needed like 6 great saves.
Maybe because
and nobody's gonna do that for you.
Yeah.
Like Hellebuck's not, Vasilevsky's not, nobody's doing that for you. Shesterkin's not, nobody's doing that for you. Nobody's doing that for you. So you can scapegoat that all you want, the goaltending, but and even Knobloch, I can't remember what's the quote. What did Knobloch's quote go? I can't remember exactly what the quote was. I don't necessarily see LA making plays to beat us. I just see mistakes gift wrapping opportunities. That was the quote from Knobloch, and that to me is the problem. The goaltending, again, I think you need to start Pickard. You need to shake up. You need to do something that is something that inside of your control you can do. You should do it. But you can't tell me that, starting Pickard or anybody else in that game was going to give you a chance to win it because you gift wrap way too much. It
is true because when you look at even the goals that the Edmonton Oilers have scored have all been earned, right? There was I think it was the second goal, Arvidsson's goal.
Yeah, oh yeah. That was a battle.
Great battle, great tip.
Both their goals were
both of those goals had to be
blue collar lunch pail kind of goals.
And Klingberg with an unreal heads up play to get the puck. Like those are earned goals. Where you look on the other side, there are
chances, major grade A chances,
but blunders, right? Yeah. Just blunders that lead to goals. And you're right, Cass. If somehow they can, Knoblauch's not wrong. If he can limit those or just get them out of your game, make LA earn everything. That's all you have to do. Make them earn it instead of gift wrapping it. You probably end up with a win. And
I want to ask you guys about a specific goal, and it just looks bad. Usually, when it looks bad, it smells bad. Walks like a duck, talks like it's a duck. But that Byfield goal, how many things went wrong there? I mean, I still don't understand where Nurse was going. He seemingly flew by the play, and then Byfield comes in, and Evan Bouchard just backs away. I never played in the NHL, so I'd like 2 people that did to tell me what exactly happened on that play.
My view might be different than a goalie's in this one. Darnell Nurse, I don't have an answer for. Like I don't in that one. I don't know what the game plan was there. There's zero need to rush out and just zero awareness as well. Like you shouldn't be on the pile for Darnell Nurse. You shouldn't be on the pile. Now, at the same time, you don't have center help because Leon's trying to run somebody over and kind of sticks there and thinks the puck stayed there. So he makes a mistake. So Leon makes a mistake. Darnell makes a mistake. And I know people are going to get mad about this, but I don't hate what Evan Bouchard did because he has to play the 2-on-1 and he has to stop the backdoor goal, the backdoor tap in. Now, from a positional standpoint, I wish he threw on the brakes at the halfway point. So that generally is like forwards and defensemen. That's kind of what at least for us, what we were taught, or the teams I played with was generally like you want to stop on the halfway point of the net because you can't allow him that much space to drive around. Like you want the goalie to take the shooter which is the right play. You want to take away the pass, which is the right play. But I think he just backs up too much to where, his stick isn't effective, because it's like, well, at the least you can get your stick in there and provide some support for the goalie. And this is the only one where it's like, no, I didn't like Stuart Skinner on this one. Like, yes, there's a couple mistakes that led to it. This is one I would love Stuart Skinner to have, because it's short side and the pass didn't go back door. That's your guy. That's your guy. Yes, there should have been some help there, but I think Stuart Skinner also bears a pretty significant amount of responsibility in that one.
Yeah, I'm along the same lines. I think it was McDavid that blew the zone, first of all. And so
there's one more too. Yeah.
That, to me, that is cheating on the offensive side in that situation by your best player can happen. And I think that was the reason why Darnell and Leon pushed up, because Connor was right beside Byfield at that point, right? They take it. I'm in agreement a little bit, but I don't like Bouchard's play, because he makes the decision to hand a breakaway. You have to. It's a 2-on-1. It's a tough position to be in, but you can force a decision to be made by the player, right? Either you're going to try to pass it across or you're going to shoot, but you can't just give him a breakaway either. Like you said, Cass, he should have stood his ground, like front the stick, trying to get in the way of the pass at least. But you can't let a guy go straight to the net and just take all the time in the world. Like, you have to force him into a decision a little bit earlier. And you said it, Stuart Skinner's horrible positioning, but I think part of that is having Bouchard out there and knowing that, well, he's probably going to let this pass through. And that's just a goalie on a 2-on-1. Yeah, he has the shot, but you have to have faith in your defenseman that he's got something too. So Skinner should have focused more just on Byfield and had the confidence in his partner that the pass wouldn't go through. I've got this guy. It's a broken play. I got it. You just take that guy and we'll go from there.
Now, given that though, would you like to see Skinner pop out and challenge Byfield as opposed to staying in his net and exposing that top corner?
How many times has he been lit up back door?
That's why.
Bite me 50 times, like what is it? How does the saying go? Yeah, fool me once, shame on you.
Fool me twice, it's a backdoor tap in.
Well, but here's the deal. I mean, maybe
on backdoor tap ins, I'm gonna start cheating towards backdoor tap ins.
And Cass, you make a great point, and maybe that's a bigger issue here, is that the confidence level of this team in themselves to say, okay, Boosh, you're giving me the shot, you're giving me the shooter, I'm going to step out and save that and make that play. But instead, there's different things going through his mind, maybe causes him to stay in his net a little bit more than he normally would.
Skinner played that like a 2-on-0.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
Well, if you are listening right now on YouTube, we encourage you to go ahead and hammer that thumbs up. If you have yet to subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk, please do so. We are pushing our way through. We broke through 11.6 last night, and we're on our way to 12,000 subs. So if you're listening on YouTube, we appreciate it. Hammer that thumbs up. You are listening to Two Guys and a Goalie, presented by GS Construction on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. I wanted to ask you this, and just so everybody knows, the readathon is still in play. The readathon is going strong. Reed is looking to make an appearance on every show on EST today. That's why this bad boy's right here. That's why this microphone is set up. Reed will be joining us for Hire or Fire It for GS Construction. But before we get to that, is this what this team has become now? Because it sure looks like it. It just sure looks like a team that says, here, Connor, take the puck and do it all yourself. See what you can do, young man. And it's not getting the results. I mean, I know Connor is just amazing, one of the best players to ever do it, but by golly, where's Nuge? Where's Connor Brown? Hyman, Henrique? I mean, I don't even want to talk about that stupid penalty that he took late in the game. But where are the depth players? Is this a lost hope? Should fans just pack it in? Or can this team figure out how to access that depth scoring?
Well, they should, because they're veterans, right? They've done it before at some level or at some point in their careers, so they should be able to figure it. But I mean, this is probably more of a discussion for the forensic audit that we will do with this team at the end of the year, whenever that may be. But that type of thinking, I think, has been baked into the DNA of this team from the start of the season, where there was, if things weren't clicking or there wasn't any other areas where the team was generating offense, the default was just to go back to Connor and Leon, and everyone became, spectators. Okay, well, they're together. They're going out every second shift. They've got this, I guess. And now you're asking them to do something that they haven't really had the opportunity to kind of figure out all year, because, and I get it, and I know the reasons why, but in last year, it seemed like Nabad didn't go to Connor and Leon as much, and there seemed to be a lot more confidence throughout the other players in the lineup to take some responsibility on the offensive side. And this year, no one has any confidence.
Cass?
I don't know if it's a confidence thing, but it's just not there. It's just not there right now. Like, could they all of a sudden spring to life and do something? Yep, but it's not there. And I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know if it's a utilization. I don't know if it's they just didn't get enough time off. It was too hard to do for them. They're too old, back-to-back years to stay on it from a physical standpoint. Not enough time to recover. But I'm going to float another thing. Actually, maybe as I'm just processing this out loud, I think for those forwards, primarily the guys that we talked about, not playing as well, I'm going to pin it on the defense. I'm going to pin it on you don't have your defenseman doing a good enough job at your own blue line. I don't think you have your defenseman doing a good enough job against the rush. I don't think you have your defenseman doing a good enough job getting you the puck out of your own zone and forcing turnovers that help you create offense by having speed and having space through the neutral zone where you're not just stacked up against the full five coming back. If I had to pick something, that at the end of the day would be it. I think their defense just is not good enough. I don't think, as of right now, unless they start playing dramatically better. And I think that bleeds into the forwards. Now, along with maybe some of the confidence issues and other things you already mentioned.
Yeah. Again, this is discussion, and we've talked about it for the year. They've looked slower, right? And there's a guy that plays on the Kings now that transported the puck at times. You're like, wow, who's that? Fogel would do that. I didn't think that, I did believe it was time for Ryan McLeod to move on. But again, he could transport the puck and back off D-men with his speed through the neutral zone. And Cass has mentioned a bunch today, which I am completely in agreement with, is you don't know what you have until you lost it. And you all year, you really saw what the absence of Cody Ceci meant to this team. And he took a kind of a beating, which I don't think he should have while he was here. But it's not as cavernous as Ekholm, but it's a deep hole that was left when they didn't re-sign him.
James Barrels in the nasty chat says, "Oh, the blue liners are creating offense just for the wrong team." Yeah, fair enough.
Save it for the morning.
We are going to bring in the one and only my hero, Reed Wilkins. He's going to join us here. He is competing in the readathon. He didn't know it when he woke up this morning that this was going to happen, but here we are. Everybody, please welcome Reed Wilkins to the show as he sets in here. Oh, hang on. We got to get that mic turned on. Is it this one? Sorry.
Hello.
There we are.
Hey, I'm not going to be able to hear Cass, unfortunately, because I don't have my earbuds, but that's okay.
I can sign it to you. If you
Sure. Yeah. Probably won't have much to say to me.
Reed, thanks for joining us here on Two Guys and a Goalie, presented for GS Construction. Before we get to hire it or fire it, I wanted to ask you, this was something we brought up earlier in the show, but Sean mentioned it in the Paris Jewelers inbox. Sean says, boys, have you touched on Stu smiling and laughing just before he got pulled? So tired of this guy. Reed, did you see that? And what were your initial thoughts on that?
I didn't see it before he got pulled. I saw in the second period he appeared to be bopping along to the music in between plays. I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry, Gager, but goalies are weird. Like, do whatever you do, have to stay in the game. I mean, some guys during breaks skate over, lean on the bench, drink water, talk to the other team. Some guys go in the corner and put their heads down. As long as the Oilers are losing, anything that they do is going to look bad and be blamed as a reason for losing. I don't know why he acts like that or how often he acts like that. I don't know, what was he supposed to do? Curl up in a fetal position in the crease and cry during the commercial breaks? Would have that suited?
Yeah, I think he's supposed
better?
to look angry and
stop. Do whatever you have to do to stop the puck. Right now, he's one of many players not doing his job at an adequate level.
Well said, as always. It's time for Hire It or Fire It for GS Construction. GS Construction is hiring now. Become a part of their great team today by visiting gsconstruction.ca on their page on indeed.ca. For the past 50 years, the foundation of GS Construction has been built on efficiency, quality, and safety. Take your career to the next level. Join the team at GS Construction. You are listening to Two Guys and a Goalie on Edmonton Sports Talk. If you haven't yet on YouTube, hammer that thumbs up and certainly subscribe and help us spread the good word of EST. Okay, hire it or fire it. Cass, I'm going to go to you. I'm going to go to the man. Well, no, I'm not, because Reed can't hear you. I'm going to go to Reed first here. Philip Deneau definitely, despised. What?
I like it.
Well, Cass can still go. Whatever. Yeah.
Philip Deneau, coming into the series, especially after the comments he made in the last regular season game, was, the flop with the Wallman cross-check.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the person you would see as public enemy number one, but I think Quinton Byfield has been very noticeable in games 1 and 2. But more importantly, he's been physically imposing, drawing penalties, etc. Is Quinton Byfield public enemy number one coming back to Edmonton?
For Oilers fans?
Yeah. You got to have an enemy.
I don't know. Kempe would be up there. He scores. It seems like he scores every time he touches the puck. Doughty is always an enemy for Oilers fans. Deneau, sure. For me, it's probably Brant Clark.
Oh,
can
you explain your disdain for young Brant Clark?
Part of it, I'm doing it for humorous effect of overreacting. Part of it is he really celebrated that goal that only made it 1-0 at the time. At that time, the game was quite in question.
It's a big goal for him.
But that's how they're flying, though. They're feeling it. They're happy. He's probably going to have a really good career, but right now he's kind of a nobody. But again, this is what they're doing. They have confidence and they are rubbing it in the Oilers' faces.
Cass,
rubbing it. Yeah, they're rubbing the Oilers' noses in it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Cass, hired or fire it. Quinton Byfield is public enemy number one at Rogers Place on Friday night.
Yeah, I think recency bias on this one. Yes. Reed, I'm saying yes. That means
he's saying yes, Reed. He's trying to sign it.
Yeah, signing yes. Yeah, signing yes on there. Yeah, send the message. Yeah, he is. Doughty would be a close number 2 because he always is. But I think just based on the series and the physicality and the interactions he's had, he's got to be public enemy number 1. Although I do love the underdog, so I might have to jump on Reed's train here.
He agrees with you, Reed. Okay. Yeah, I would say Doughty. No. I'm gonna go Kempe.
It's come into the screen, Zach. It's okay.
Just come plug him in. I don't know where
plug
they go.
him in.
I would say Kempe. Just like Reed said, the swagger of Kempe. It's at a high level right now. When he scores, like in the emotionless, the tongue out, the kind
quiet
of
confidence.
And just like the death stare into the crowd. It's arrogant. It's awful. As a goaltender, I would have wanted to take his teeth out after doing something like that. He's kind of bat flipping every time he scores a goal right now, right? To put it into context. So, yeah, it would be Adrian Kempe for me.
Do you think, given what, the Oilers were obviously concerned about Quinton Byfield in the third period. I mean, Henrique, he'd gotten under Henrique's skin. Was it Nuge? Gave him a slash. And then I think Podkolzin touched him and got kicked out of the game. So clearly he's on the radar. Does somebody need to step up? Like, Reed said this before. I'm not sitting here saying we got to fight him. We got to slug it out with, go and take a fight. But does somebody on the Oilers need to step up, Gage, and do something to set a tone? Maybe take a 5-minute penalty right off the start of Friday's game.
And maybe not a penalty, but I think there has to be some sort of physical element to the Oilers game, but you really haven't seen it all year. Like the fact that Evander Kane had more hits in the time he's played than most guys have had in the last few months, right? It's just, again, it's not part of the DNA of this team, and it's too bad that Frederick is hobbled. Because I think that's another guy that's going to finish checks and create things. Why do you think the Edmonton Oilers are kind of going after Byfield? It's because he finishes checks.
Sure.
He's annoying to play against. He's good. He's what you want Evander Kane to play like, right? Be a threat to score and the physical presence. He's the full package, and he's making the Oilers start to think about something other than the game, and that's getting retribution on him for doing stuff out there. So he's doing his job. But the Oilers just don't have someone like that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens on Friday night. I was watching the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show last night, and seeing the comments on there, to me, it looks like Oilers fans are just saying, okay, well, this is done. This is over. See you next year. The Oilers are done. Is this odd, or is this just a statement as to how poorly the Oilers are playing? I mean, usually you'd have the only person I saw really that stood out last night was Big Uke saying, "This ain't over. We're only down 2 games." Reed, are you wondering where the faith is with the fan base, or is this just how bad the team is lately?
I don't know. I mean, I said this on the Hangout. I hate commenting on how the fans feel because each fan feels individually. I mean, look, we had some people saying it was over when they lost 6-0 to Winnipeg, that they wouldn't make the playoffs after game 1. But I think that there's a lot of there's a foundation for pessimism after the way the first 2 games have gone. I mean, how close were the Oilers to winning those games? Not close. Even though they almost got game 1 into overtime, they did it because of really one player dominating the third period. It wasn't really McDavid and Draisaitl even. It was just McDavid. And then, yesterday, even when they had a pocket of the game when they played well, it was still about even with what the LA Kings were doing. So now I think that's sometimes people might go overboard. Like it's not over till somebody wins the 4th game. I've seen teams dominated more than the Oilers in 2 games come back and win series for sure.
Yeah.
And I think I'm pretty consistent because if the Oilers were up 2-0 in the series, I wouldn't be saying that it's over. So there's still a chance, but they have to fix. Again, they have to improve at every single element of hockey. Every single one. They were not better than the Kings in any element of hockey in the first 2 games.
Cass, hire to fire it. The series is over, and the Oilers have shown that they're simply outmatched.
Yeah. I gotta fire it because it's not. It's not over till it is, right? And Reed said that, and I know, and I got on here at the start and said I don't have a lot of hope. My gut feeling after watching those 2 is they probably lose the series. That's my gut feeling, but it's not over yet. So it's not, you can't write them off yet. They still could turn around. They still could flip those switches. And I know I listed like 50 switches they have to flip earlier. They still could do it. That's the crazy thing. Just like that comeback when they almost won in game 1, like they still could do it. This group still can do it. So it's still possible. All hope is not lost, even though it's dwindling.
Yeah, it's hard to say that they're done. I'm gonna fire it. They're not done because they've. This is weird, but it's because they've played so poorly. They're not that team. That's not what we've seen. there is something else there, but like Cass just said, he has his doubts just because of the way that these last two games go, and that affects your opinion. But I don't think they're done.
All right, let's end this show on a little bit of more a positive note here, as we saw the triumphant return of the harmonica crew last night for the national anthem, and boy, oh boy, they are taking off. Eric showed me something on Twitter earlier that they're like setting up tour dates because of this. Like, this has become a thing. Okay, Gager, I'm going to throw it to you first. You know, what kind of instrument, band, quartet, singer does the OEG strike back with as the harmonicas need to be put down? So I'm going to simplify it for you. Hire it or fire it, that this team needs a good old-fashioned Robert Clark singing a few lines of the national anthem and then handing it over to the crowd. Hire or fire it?
Hire it.
Yeah.
It's worked in the past. He gets into the crowd, and everyone starts singing. You get the goosebumps going. It'll obliterate. I mean, I don't know. It was in L.A., but you'd think people in L.A. could sing, but it was terrible. It'll be way better tomorrow night at Rogers. Hire it.
Cass, what are your thoughts on that?
Fire it. Give me some polka.
Oh, polka.
Give me some accordions.
Yes.
Or maybe some mandolins. My great uncle's got a mandolin band. So let's bring out Larry and Marianne Pashek with the mandolin band and go ham.
Larry and
Marianne Pashek. Yeah.
Larry and Marianne Kashek with the mandolin.
Pashek.
Oh,
The P,
that's
with the
amazing.
mandolins. Yeah.
Reed, what do
Reed
you want to
couldn't
see
hear.
tomorrow for game
Well,
three?
for realistically, yes, I want to see Robert Clark in the stands, hold up the mic, and everybody belts it out. For a non-realistic, humorous answer, I would like to see somebody playing somebody on the washboard and somebody on the spoons doing O Canada.
that would be good. I think anything's an option at this point.
Who was the lady in Philly that did the God Bless America? What was her name?
Kate Smith.
Kate Smith.
Yes, that's what this is going to be for the Kings.
Yeah, well, yeah, but don't you think maybe even, I know Robert Clark, he should be there and stuff, but maybe you throw Paul Laurie or on the jumbo
Goosebumps.
when he did it for the first time, and you have that. So he does it,
yeah.
and then old Rexall. I think that's what you do.
Gager, you might be onto something
I
there.
think I am onto something.
You have been listening to Two Guys and a Goalie, presented by GS Construction, as we continue today's Readathon. Well done, Reed. You've captured the hearts
Am I
and minds.
dismissed?
Well, you can leave whenever you want. It's your day. You can.
It's
you
not
can
my
stay.
day.
It is your day.
It's just a weird.
Readathon.
It's just a weird thing we're
Well,
doing.
hey, we're doing
But
it anyways. Okay?
But I think I leave this here.
Yeah,
am
leave
I
it
on with
there.
you guys?
Here.
I'll leave that there. Thanks.
As per Readathon, Reed will be joining in on EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage. Gage, a big fella. What do you guys got coming up on the show today?
I don't know. We'll have to go to Coob's got my stuff here. So obviously we have the red light district at 140, which I have something uniquely planned. We're going to just keep beating this dead horse with the
have
Kings.
to.
We have to. We might talk a little bit of NBA at 220, and of course tee up your show.
Sure.
Later on with you. Who's coming on your show?
Well, we have
I
the
meant
newly...
someone from ours. Do we have to reciprocate this with Reed?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I should leave it for Reed. Yeah, maybe I should have him say it. No, we've got newly minted CFL Commissioner Stuart Johnson joining us at right at the start of the show. I believe around 3:20 or 3:25. And then Martin Biron is going to join as well.
Oh, blue eyes.
So yeah, we're going to have a packed show for you. Cass, what do you got going on for the rest of the day? Are you at all going to be watching, or are you at all interested in the NFL draft that's happening tonight?
I'm not watching. Don't care.
Big plans, eh?
Don't care. Don't have time. Yeah, big plans. Got a kid's birthday. Got to help run. So it's yeah. Oh, yeah.
How old?
Yeah, how old?
It's 10. It's the 10.
Whoa, so this is a real danger zone in between. Like, you can't just bring out Paw Patrol anymore. Like, you got to get something serious.
You got to do real stuff. So they have like in all girls. So it's like, yeah, they're doing like little painting things.
Oh, that's
I don't know.
nice.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
God be
I'm
with
just
you
gonna
today,
be
Cass.
easy.
You're going to need
Yeah.
all the strength
Thank
you
you.
can muster. Like I said, you have been listening to Two Guys and a Goalie, presented by GS Construction. Coming up next is EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage. And then coming up on the Reed Wilkins Show with myself, you can tune in and listen from 3 to 6. I want to finish up with one thing here, guys. Is Friday's game? This is a 100% must win.
Yes.
Game. Would that be correct to say, Cass?
99%.
Yeah, I think if the Oilers cannot pull this one out, this is all but over.
If the last two games went, there was an overtime, there was a late goal, but if it was a lot closer, it was a back and forth. I would say maybe there's a chance, but I just don't think you've built up way too much confidence in this LA Kings team that to beat them 4 games in a row. I don't think there's a team in the NHL that could do that. So, Friday is a must win.
Guess is it more of a must win or more of a can't lose? Because technically it's not a must win.
It's a can't lose. I guess.
Can't lose. Okay, one more thing before. I had it in my notes. We didn't even get to it. 2 players that had not yet suited up for the Oilers. Obviously, Evander Kane. But I want to start. Evander Kane, that was kind of what you'd expect. He was trying to throw his body around, trying to do his best he can. I think he was, 14 minutes playing time. But is it also quite a statement to say that John Klingberg might have been the Oilers' best defenseman last night, Cass?
No, I think he was. I mean, there's 1 or 2 plays where I was like, I didn't love that play, but he's the only guy where I wasn't like barf at some point, if that makes sense.
Unfortunately, it does. Gager.
Yeah, that's a sad state of affairs that a guy that's been sitting out. I mean, he was banged up too, but he looked good, and he was making plays. He set up that first goal with his vision. Like, you had that with him. He's a gifted hockey player. I just think it's kind of passed him by a little bit at this point. But it's great that he's playing well, but not great that he's so noticeable as the best defender on the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, I would say that might be a little bit of a problem. Okay, this has been fun. Thank you for sticking with us. Coming up next on Edmonton Sports Talk is EST Afternoons with the one and only Hernan Salas, and right here, Joaquin Gage. The Readathon continues as they're going to have Reed on, and then he's going to be on with me from 3 to 6 here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. For Matt Kassian, Joaquin Gage, I am Jay Milne. Thank you for listening to 2 Guys and a Goalie. We'll chat with you soon.